Hi, welcome to this month's Commissioner Corner. I'm Claire Wool, the school board chair, and I am here with Maddie Scheidt, the principal of Integrated Arts Academy.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
This month is an exciting month for the Burlington School District as we start registration for our youngest learners. We have pre-K registration and kindergarten registration that kicks off as early as January 2nd, right when we come back to school. And the registration concludes by the end of February. This year it concludes on February 27th, with families being notified of placement by April 13th. That being said, we never not register families, so if you miss that kindergarten registration deadline, we do it on a rolling basis, so and based on availability in those schools that you prefer. If you are within that January 2nd, February 27th registration, you, in your application, you select a first choice, second, and third, so that we do our best as a district to place you where you'd like to be. But Maddie, thank you so much. As principal of the school and as a parent of public school students, I share with you the excitement of kindergarten and registration and the start of being a pupil within our school district. If you can share with me in your role, we'll talk about today our 6 elementary schools that citizens of Burlington have the availability to choose, and the excitement that we do have pre-K at all our elementary schools now that go. So our elementaries start at pre-K and go through 5th grade. And when you think about those first steps, I know we use our websites a lot for registration. I know that on our registration website, we include a brief summary about each of our elementary schools. But people can certainly call the schools if they, and all the phone numbers are listed, if they need help or have questions. But what does registration month typically look like? Is it quiet? Is it organized? I know you offer, and you just had a tour open house, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on what it seems to happen each year.
Well, I want to talk about also, as I had a kindergartner here many years ago in Burlington, and I think what's so special is the community. I'm fortunate enough to still be in the district, and my kid's kindergarten teacher still asked about my kids. So I think it's just a really special community we have here, and how teachers really follow their kids from kindergarten all the way up until 25, 23 years old. So I just want to start with that, as my kids also went through the Burlington School District. It's a quieter month. I think parents are talking to other parents around, like, hey, the tour I gave the other night, the parents are like, oh, we have parents who we know who have kids at SA, we have parents who have kids at Edmonds, and we have parents here, at IAA, and we just want to see what the schools feel like. And I think for your first few choices is to go tour and get a feeling for that school and ask questions. All the schools have the same curriculum, so they're all doing American Reading Company for literacy. They're doing the same math programs. So when you're looking at the schools, a lot of them are the same around curriculum, so I think that's important for people to know.
Definitely.
We're lucky enough to have a very robust preschool, so many of our incoming kindergartners have been in our buildings already.
Wow.
And we know the families and we know the students already.
And how many students typically are in a kindergarten class? I know it can vary in population. We have 6 of our elementary schools, but what would you say the norm?
Between 18 and 21, so it depends on the square footage of the room itself, so the Vermont state regulations. So they say per square foot you can have 1 student, X amount of students. We do have, we have 1 kindergarten teacher and then 1 paraeducator in each classroom. There's a lot going on in kindergarten, so I just think about, it's been snowing and trying to get 20 little bodies out for recess and getting them all in snow pants and boots, and so having an extra set of hands is really great, and I feel very fortunate that the district feels that's a really important role to have another adult in the the classroom to build relationships with the kids too.
Absolutely, and I remember the days before those paraeducators, and I know PTOs, I know we have a unified PTO now, and each school has their parent-teacher organization where parents can belong, everyone belongs to the PTO. And here we put up on the screen our 6 elementary schools. We start with Champlain Elementary in the south end on Pine Street, C.P. Smith in the north end off of the North Ave and next to, sort of next to, kitty-cornered to Hunt Middle School. Edmonds Elementary right on Main Street next to Edmonds Middle School. Integrated Arts Academy right here in the heart of the Old North End. J.J. Flynn Elementary out the farthest school north, out in the new North End, and Sustainability Academy as well, also in the old North End. Exciting to think when I look at all of the populations of all those schools, and we look. Typically, we're in the high 200s, serving pre-K to 5th grade, and the amount of classrooms, again, varies on enrollment. So some schools might have 2 kindergarten classes, some might have 3. I love what you said about parents touring. They should tour all the elementary schools, and that you do have choice as to what elementary school you can attend here in the city of Burlington. When it comes to middle school, however, your middle school is determined based on your address, where you reside. So I just wanted to put that out there because it is unique.
It is.
And rarely, when I grew up, I'm not sure where you grew up, but I did not have 6 elementary schools to choose from. And that is a benefit to our district that when we talk about enrollment and engagement, all of our schools are doing well and robust. And I remember the days before when we had talked about pre-K and potentially building a pre-K center, and the school board and the district worked really hard because families had talked about, wouldn't it be great to have our pre-K, originally IAA and SA were one of the pioneers of having pre-K in their schools, and we were able to make this work so that the transition is seamless when you talk about moving or inviting families in at the pre-K level. And pre-K ages, I know in looking at the materials that I researched just to make sure I was correct, it starts 3 to 4-year-olds.
3 to 4, yep.
Unbelievable.
Some 5s, yeah.
Okay. And then in Vermont, you turn 5 before September 1st. So
Correct.
Kindergarten age is starting. You have to be 5 years old before September 1st. I'm repeating myself. And so you have your little 5-year-olds. So what's a day in the life of a kindergarten class, or if you could share what that looks like?
I think what's important for folks to know is as principals and kindergarten teachers, we really try to make their world small for the first month of school. It's a big change for a lot of kids. So really just making sure they do the first 6 weeks of routine. And routine is in the morning, doing the drop-off. The teachers come out, they greet the kids, they grab their breakfast, all the kids get free breakfast, and they go in, they settle in, they have breakfast, they do their morning meetings.
And breakfast is in the classroom.
Breakfast is in the classroom at our school. Each school looks a little different.
Right.
And then they do a little bit of reading time. Kindergarten does movement. We know those bodies need to move.
Yes.
So we build in a lot of movement throughout the day. Then they'll do some math, and then we do recess first, then lunch, again, free for all the students, which we have an amazing program for the kids get a fresh salad bar.
Wow.
At the school. So people are like, kids won't eat vegetables. I was like, oh, they do. They they go through. And then they do some quiet time. They usually have their unified arts classes in the afternoon, which is art, music, physical education, and library. At Integrated Arts Academy, we have a drama program, so the kids will do drama as well. And then all the kids get an extra 30-minute PE once a week as well. And then they go into their afternoon. They usually do a guided choice time. So it's play, but it's also guided around some of the academics as well.
And when we say unified arts, what are we? Did you announce it already? You said physical education, art, and music
and library.
And library.
Yeah.
Library is
Yeah.
so. I spoke with the librarian Ashley at Edmonds Elementary yesterday. It was dress up as your favorite book character, and what a success it was. And looking at pictures, we're going to put them out on the website. But the teachers all got involved, and I loved what you said about routine because it is incredibly meaningful for families when we talk about drop off for the first time, and for these little 5-year-olds coming into the school. I know our strategic plan, number 4 is a sense of belonging, where students feel that they, have a safe place and a person that they recognize and get to know. And it is, class sizes of 18 to 20 students, getting to know their teachers and being able to communicate. And like you said, I know going outside, fresh air time, movement time, circle time. Even I think circle time has changed these days when they talk about just attention spans of students. When they talk about the weather, they go around a share circle. I remember bunch up like grapes. And because of electronics and things of that nature, that we were saying like, oh, to students to remember fondly back on circle time and just talking with their peers and giving each other time to talk and share is so meaningful. And do they still do guidance? I know that sometimes
they do. So we have school counselors, and most schools do SEL, is called social emotional learning, 2 times a week. And it's the shorter, it's 30 minutes. However, kindergarten is a joyful place. So many adults, when they might be having a bumpy day themselves, will go into a kindergarten classroom because there's so much joy.
Yes.
So I think what's special is, in my school, I can talk about is, I know all the kindergartners' names, and then all the unified art teachers have them from kindergarten up to 5th. So it just builds community. So I think it's a really great spot for parents also can come in and volunteer and see what's going on in their child's classroom. So we always love to have parents come in, and even if you're like, I don't want to be in the classroom, the library can always use restocking.
Yes, and even suggesting books. I love that you brought that up. I know that in each of our schools, and we talk about room parents or helping teachers to build that sense of community or communicate out any type of classroom needs, that you can volunteer as a room parent or whatever the name is, and being able to assist. And like you said, that if it isn't in the classroom itself, but helping out overall with the school. I know many of our schools were very fortunate being in a metropolitan area that students walk to school, drop off, or ride their bikes when the weather's nice. And we have, for example, at Edmonds and at Champlain, like the horseshoe, and helping students get into the class safely. And those those are volunteer parents that assist in that support, on top of all the after school or extracurricular activities that parents can be afforded of. So our message between you and I and all of our elementary schools is when you, bring your young child at 5 years old, or if it's pre-K, you're a part of that community, and everyone is welcome to help out in every small or big way. Tell me about the beneficial change to full day pre-K. I mean, full day kindergarten, full day pre-K. Sorry.
So we at IAA, we used to not have a full day pre-K, and then last year when we went under renovation, we went to a full day pre-K, and it's nice to have the kids all day, and parents can work all day. The kids benefit from being together, and they still have quiet time. So that's been a nice change, and parents have one drop-off and one pickup,
right.
which makes a big difference for families.
And what is the school day hours for our kindergartners? Like all 5 grades?
District-wide.
Yes, 6 grades.
So every student can get dropped off. Pre-K is a little later.
Yes.
It starts at 7:50. There's supervision out on the playground. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, it's a 2:50 dismissal. And Monday is early release at 1:50.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
at 1:50
Wednesday,
and then that is for district-wide professional development.
Correct.
Within our curriculum working within our school district. All right, so that is an early school day for our 5-year-olds. 7:50 drop off. School starts at 8:10. 8:10 goes till 2:50, and I know faculty and staff are there later, or contractually until the afternoon. And then after school for kindergartners, they can
go to after school.
Go that extra mile till 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's it depends on different
Per school, right.
Yeah, so
Offerings.
it is a long day. So,
but if they're social, we were talking about the goal here is to be able to provide families in Burlington, those that work, or if you have siblings that are attending, that there is a cohesiveness to the family unit, so that if your siblings are attending after school, that we include kindergartners for that purpose.
And they get supper, and so I think it's also they get a nice snack at the end of the day, and it's a different type of fun. So it's really the social piece.
And you have time to have some quiet time as well. So you're not where 4th and 5th or 3rd graders might be doing something more active. For the younger kids, it might be something that, is less.
And I think too is for parents, it's this becomes your community. So kids go on play dates, and it also extends your community and belonging. So I think each elementary school, you have a sense of belonging of your neighborhood, even if it's not your neighborhood, just doing a drop-off and talking with parents. And sometimes it can feel very isolating being a parent. And I think just having opportunity to talk to other parents about like, hey, my kid won't put down their iPad. What are you guys doing? And just being able to have conversations with other parents so it doesn't feel so isolating.
And I remember that about our kindergarten experience, that teachers would connect if they see your child or another child making friendships and share, like, if you might want to get together with this, I'm seeing a great friendship for it, or those that might need help in assisting and creating those friend groups outside of school. So I love that you shared that. I will say, anecdotally, that when we first moved here, I remember saving everybody's parents' names by their child's. So it would be Josh's mom or, like Ruby's mom. And because you were always coming and going, you might not fully get the proper introduction, or you talk about it. And I never changed their name. I would always be like, oh my gosh, that's how I would remember all of these families' names.
I think I just threw away or recycled the directories from elementary school.
Oh my gosh, the directories. I know the old
the old directories with everyone's name.
And contact information.
Yeah, so that was, I was like, oh, I don't know if they were all landlines, of course.
I know.
So I was like, oh, but those are outdated. So I believe, like, I can again talk about IAA, but community at every elementary school is really important to all the principals. And when we get together, we get to hear about like what's going on at Smith and what's going on at Flynn and what dinners are happening, and SA is doing a running race. And so I think it's that community. And what's really important is, yes, we have 6 different elementary schools. We have 2 middle schools, but we have 1 high school, and all those kids are our community. So I think that's just really important to remember too, is that we all end up as one.
I agree.
So I do remember, like at middle school, is like Hunt versus Edmonds in the basketball games, but when they come together, when they're in that 9th grade cohort, it's like, we're one.
I think that's why, when I think of your love of teaching and the impact that you and your family have made on the Burlington Public Schools, it resonates, you know, your experiences and how you want to make a difference in the lives of families. Having been through the school district and being an educator is so admirable, and I can't thank you enough for your leadership.
Oh, well, thank you.
And your family's contribution to the Burlington Public Schools. And I agree with you. I brought along, every year we put out a hard copy of a district calendar, and you can also get it online. But to your point, we include all the activities that happen throughout each of the schools. So even if you're a parent with a 3 or 4-year-old and looking at these schools, you can attend, like you said, the essay race or the pancake breakfast, or the bowl, filling the bowl for IAA, the Edmonds Mayfair, because our district as a whole, we do work together in a unified manner. And I think what you shared as well, like, yes, there's a physical difference to each of our school campuses, but the consistency of curriculum is super important. People want to know about that because that's why we're teaching and learning, and that the school day, the school hours, all of our schools have pre-K as well, and that the opportunity for after school at each of our schools exists, and that we're always available. I'll go through some of the slides just to show you the mechanics of this next month and a half as we project and look at school enrollment based on our pre-K trends. If you already have a child in the school district, you will see a link, and it looks like this. And this is where you would enter your information and your child's name. It's a bit of a process, but most importantly, as you see the numbers calling Kate Fay, you can immediately pick up the phone and get your questions answered. Next slide, if you don't mind. How do we determine which elementary school a student will attend? This is the criteria. Again, it's on our website. We ask that, you know, where you attend pre-K has no bearing where you might attend kindergarten. And we ask, as I shared before, first, second, and third choice. And it's determined by school capacity and how many spots are available. We talk about the importance of keeping siblings together. We talk about what we want our schools to be representative as a family. So we want a balanced school community. And what schools are close to where you live is important. And then, like I shared about the middle school placement, is based on your home address. Next slide, please.
Can I just talk?
Yes.
You have magnet schools.
Oh, yes.
What
Let's
is a
talk about
magnet?
that.
What
Yes.
is a magnet school, right?
Yes.
So we have 2 magnet schools in our district, and one is the Sustainability Academy and one is the Integrated Arts Academy. So what's special about them is how we interweave either sustainability or arts integration throughout our day. And it's a mission, people are trained in it. So we have some extra little programming that happens, although each elementary school has that as well.
Yes.
So we are the magnet schools. I also invite people, even if you're like, I don't think we want IAA, I come visit the school because the district invested so much money into the renovation, and it's a beautiful space now.
Yes.
And just to see what the district has
Yes.
invested in,
Yeah.
it's even if you like, we have roller skating every Friday night.
Yes.
So through a parent who's like loves it, and she's got these great skates. And it's open to families from 6 to 8 for anybody who wants to come roller skating. So just a plug for that.
Yes.
But it's a beautiful space, but I just want to thank the school board and the voters for saying, hey, this is important to have a beautiful building for our students. So
Without a doubt.
so just come visit. And then, so there's those 2 magnet schools. So if you're curious about it, I encourage you just to give a call or come for a visit. It's just, it's a very neat way to deliver curriculum and education. Yeah.
Without a doubt. I hear you wholeheartely, and I think about the unique choices that each of the school has, and I also wanted to share that even if you're at Flynn or CP Smith or Edmonds or Champlain, they do have their theater programs that parent volunteers and work with Very Merry Theater or parent volunteers participate in. So don't forget to support the arts for all of our elementary schools, because we love that opportunity. And even things like Jazz Fest on Church Street. I
with
know
Edmonds,
that Edmonds and also IEA and singing groups and participating elementary schools. So I love, but yes, if we can go back to that last slide, I know you had it. If you are a brand new family to our Burlington School District, you are going to start the process here of the enrollment on this form, and you can select the language in the top corner and fill out your information. This is more lengthy. You do it once and then you're done when you're registered in the school, Power School. And next slide, please, if there is one. I think that was it. Yeah. So that, in essence, will show you registration, most important. Phone numbers are on the website. Opportunities to come visit our schools. Our dates are coming up on the website. It'll tell you what schools will offer. I know coming up is the 20, I have to look on the website. Sorry, I had a slide, but it's from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning for parents. So look on the website for the schools that you're interested in touring, or tour all 6 of them, just for an opportunity to get to see the good work we do at each of our schools. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
And I also want to say that I know people work.
Yes.
And these times may not meet everyone's calendar.
Yes.
So if you really want to see a school and your schedule doesn't fit within one of those windows, to reach out
Yes.
to the admin assistants, and we'll set up a tour for you to come see the
Right.
school. So it
Thank
might
you,
not be as long, but it will give you opportunity.
Just to come and see and
Just
feel
come
it.
and see,
Thank
yeah.
you. That's really important. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is our goal, to get you in if that timing does not work. Well, thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
being a part of this. I can't thank you enough for sharing your knowledge. Like I said, I'm so excited. Kindergarten and pre-K is just, we have Stacy Curtis, our early education
Yeah.
leader in the district. A huge shout out to her and her team. Phenomenal work. And to all of our educators, but really a special shout out to our pre-K and kindergarten teachers. We see you, and we can't thank you enough, as Maddie shared about those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities where kids get to see their former kindergarten teacher. And I know Danielle Weidman, I had reached out to her and to ask her, again, feedback on why they teach, why they continue to teach in kindergarten, and just nothing but amazing community, amazing sense of satisfaction at those firsts throughout a child's education, and so impressionable. So really taking it to heart. But thank you again for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we will see you next month. But register, and we look forward to meeting you, is my message to all those who will watch this clip. Thank you.